The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear and see me? Excellent. Okay, let's get rolling. I'm going to start with the 60-minute, okay, folks? I want you to see what we've got. First of all, I think it's pretty clear we have a breakout from the downtrend channel. However you want to draw this downtrend channel, folks, there is a breakout. I mean, even if you want to draw it from the highs, connect it that way. We have a breakout. It's a little more minor, but it's still a breakout. The MACD is pushing higher. Personally, I would like to see the MACD take out this high. I don't know if it's going to, but that would be wonderful because more often than not, if this really is an A, B, C wave higher, you're going to get a negative divergence here. But that's a pretty high MACD as a bar to really work with. So, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. You know what? I do apologize. I'm reading it wrong. This is the MACD that I need to exceed, and we have. See, if this was an A wave, if this is a B wave, and then if this is a C wave for wave 4, you would normally not get the MACD breaking back over the high here. More often than not, you would see the MACD making a negative divergence with this MACD here, the peak here. It's not what we're seeing. So what we're seeing actually now, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. We're actually seeing a breakout, and that really is much more indicative of the impulsive structure that we're tracking and much less indicative of the potential for this alt 4 that I have on the chart. So again, I think it's a lower probability, but what I think and what the market does going to be two different things, could be two different things. So we're going to follow our process. Now, when speaking of our process, what is going to absolutely confirm for me that the bottom is in place? Well, we had a nice 5 waves up. We got 3 waves back. Now, if we're going to complete 5 waves up into this region here off of this 1, 2, then that's going to tell me, great, wave 4 is done, wave 5 has begun. But we're already back up to the highs. So how does that help us? Well, here's the thing. And I've already started writing the weekend update. And this is really what I'm saying. When we broke down 4,400, I kept saying, guys, this is a great opportunity for buying. The upside is over 1,000 points, whereas the downside is basically hundreds of points, several hundred points. So whereas I was hammering it home as I put it, that the risk to the downside is significantly outweighed by the potential to the upside. So at that point, I thought, it's a great buying opportunity. Now, personally, I left a little bit of money left over for the potential of the lower low. Great. Sure, I have no problems with that. I'm comfortable with what I did because, I said, okay, it's a non-negligible opportunity, but I'm going to take that opportunity. And I'm going to hold a little bit more cash to see if we can get that lower low and then deploy that cash. We didn't get that. Now, do I want to buy here now that we've broken out? Not really. Why? Well, there's still some potential for that lower low. And I'm going to allow the market to complete 5 waves up to tell me there's really no more potential for that lower low. And if I get that 5 waves up, where I don't have much potential for that lower low, I will then deploy that cash on a wave 2 retracement. Now, let's assume we go all the way up to the 2.0 extension for all of wave 1. That's the bigger one. So where is my general region for a wave 2 retracement? Well, it could be anywhere within that region right there. Now, considering where that region is and where we are today, from a probabilistic standpoint, does it really make sense to be adding positions here? Unless the specific stock you want to add is still at its lows. My answer to that is no, it really doesn't make sense. For me, I'm going to allow the market to complete its pullback, its five-wave structure to the upside, telling me, okay, I'm going to need to deploy my cash on the wave two. I rolled the dice on that last remaining cash and I lost. Now, most of the cash I told you I was putting into play. We sold right here, or at least I sold right here, and I started buying in here. So right now, do I want to necessarily take that last cash? No, I'm going to wait. Maybe we still get that lower low, and I'll deploy that cash. If not, fine, I'll just deploy it here. I'm still getting a bargain, and overall, I'm still getting a bargain because I'm still buying in total down here. So I'm going to wait with that last remaining cash. That's all. So right now, there really isn't a lot to do for somebody like me who's looking as an investor. Where am I deploying my investing cash? So there really isn't a lot more that I really could be doing at this point in time other than letting the market play out. And that's what I'm going to personally be doing. Am I going to take my shots at the short side? Sure, I'll take another shot at the short side. I have no problem with that. But once we get through that 1.0 extension, not so sure how smart it is to take any more shots at the short side other than completing 5 waves up. Then I'd gladly buy some hedges for the pullback and then deploy my cash and sell those hedges. But, will I take some shots at certain points in time for a pullback, on short-term trading? Sure, why not? Why not? If we can get up to the 1.0 extension and complete all the microstructure to there, sure, I'll take another shot. I still have some puts, as I mentioned to you guys from last, that go into the end of next week. Great. I have no problem if they go to zero, because the amount of money that some of those stocks that I went into have made off those lows have been incredible. Way outweighed anything that I've already put in, and will continue to go much higher as we go through our 5th wave. For now, I think the best thing to do is remain patient if you want to deploy more longs, unless you see something that really is still at the lows. I think the best thing to do is remain patient if you want to deploy some longs. I think you're going to get an opportunity here once we're convinced that all 5 waves up are done. Until that's happening, a lower low is still within the realm of possibility. So if you've rolled the dice with some of your money like I have, it's not a lot. Most of what I said I was going to deploy, I've already deployed, but I still have a little bit of money left. So I roll the dice. I may have lost. Fine, I'll just buy here. And that's really my plan. So I'm just giving you my plan and how I'm now having to modify my plan because we didn't get a lower low. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but I said, I'm going to roll the dice on that last bit of money. I lost. Now what do I do? Well, that's what I'm doing. Okay, is that clear? Am I clear about my plan? And like I said, each of you have to have your own plans. Okay. Oh, I bought Roku. Yeah. Yes, I did buy some Roku. I sold Roku over 400, and I bought back as we broke down below 200. Yes, I did. I have bought Roku. Yes. So that's my plan. You guys make your own plans, and I'm just letting you know what I'm doing, okay? For now, I'm going to take a couple of shots at downside. I'm not playing it big. I'm taking some small shots at downsides, okay? There are two. Let's look at the smaller degree. This is the smaller degree right now, folks. Before we even can consider any potential downside, we are now over. We've moved through our pivot on the SPX. We've moved through it. Now, did we get all the way to the 1.0 extension? Not yet. But based upon the microstructure in the most bullish count that I'm tracking, we should not break down below the pivot now. We absolutely should not. Let me take this off. Now, rectangle there. We should not break below the pivot at this point in time on any pullbacks. Assuming we're going to complete wave 3 based upon this subwave structure. Am I confident in this subwave structure? Well, if we didn't have this, my answer to you would be I'm very confident. But that drop on the Fed day screwed the pooch on the really nice count. It was a really nice count off those lows, and it screwed the pooch on that, unfortunately. So am I 100% confident in that count because of what happened on Fed day? I am not. But the market is still trying to follow through. I mean, even broke down below the 618 here, but didn't necessarily invalidate. So there's certain things in this count that make me nervous, but it's still playing out. And if we continue to play out as this is outlined, then yeah, we should get all the way up to maybe about 44.90 on the on the ES, which was about 4,500, which would take us in between our 1.0 extension and the 1236 extension, which is a fine target for wave 3. But keep in mind, the ES is postured a little differently because the overnight action was a bit different than we saw on the SPX during real time. So there is going to be some amount of difference here. But as long as the SPX is over 43.45 to 43.50, for me, I'm going to allow it to complete this wave 3 over the coming days. If we should break a support during that period of time, and I don't think we should break below this pivot at any point in time now. You see where the pivot is? Can you have a small break of it? Sure, I can allow that. You can allow a small break of the pivot. But I don't want to see a sustained break of that pivot. And if that happens, well, maybe we have to consider that. But for now, folks, my expectation is I'm looking higher as long as this pivot holds. If the pivot doesn't hold, okay, then I'll have to adjust. But for now, there's nothing I intend on doing, and I'm just going to let the market play out. See if we can get this. And like I said, there's going to be opportunities for hedging, downside plays. Great. I'm letting my longs run, and I will take my shots at pullbacks. Small shots, nothing big. I don't want to screw what I've got. Let's move on to metals. And to say I'm a little disappointed in silver is a little bit of an understatement. I'm sorry, not silver. GDX. I mentioned that this structure here did concern me a little bit. Now, does that mean instead of a standard impulsive structure, are we going to get a leading diagonal? Well, maybe. But as long as we stay over 37, I think I can maintain an expectation of a 5-wave structure to develop. Below 37, I have to consider the potential that this pullback is going to continue a little bit longer. Okay? As long as we hold 37, I think we can still view this as a wave 4 and a leading diagonal. But below 37, it makes it much harder to do so. Okay? When I look at GC, personally, I mean, to me, this looks like a nice 1-2, to be very honest with you. So let's do this. Get rid of all this. I'll show you what I think we may be seeing here. Because that can count as a nice 5 up on GC. So this is a 1, 2, Let's do an ABC. Your 1.0, yep, that's your support right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's your support right there for GC. So 1908 is the bottom of that. 1907, 1908. As long as that holds, then this is looking like an ABC pullback in GC. Silver, I have no expectations and had no expectations that we're going to see an impulsive rally off the lows on silver. And this can still easily be an A. Oops, what did I write there? A, B, then C up. I think that makes the most sense to me right now. Maybe a little bit of a deeper B, but I think that makes the most sense right now. Silver. So that's the metals. Let's take a quick peek at the USO. I think the USO, yeah, okay. USO also, this looks like a nice 5 up and now 2 back. I'm going to use that high. I don't think it's spike. I think that's probably just a P bar. So I'm going to assume this is our support on USO. As long as we hold over 70 or so, to me, this is going to set up a rally. If you want, you can wait for a breakout over this high, and then we should be targeting here. And we'll set up the fib pinball. I already went over silver, Irfan. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a bigger 1-2 that's going to put us up targeting about 97. 97 is my next target on. Let's see where this would target. Woo, this would take us well past 97. So let's see how this plays out. Let's see how it plays out. Because this isn't going to target 97, is it? Let me see. It's not. You would have to have some massive moves up to get to 97. But 97 seems to be a really good next target. So maybe we do get that. So if you want to take a shot on this, maybe you buy this pullback and put your stops maybe under 69 or 70, up to you. And let it run. And then as far as the dollar is concerned, that just looks like a little consolidation here, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I can't say that is a clean 5 down, folks. It almost looks like a WXY for a 4th wave, and then we go up higher. Or maybe we get a triangle in here now. And then it pushes up for a higher high, which would make sense. But the dollar should be close to top. So any questions? This was a long one today. Any questions? Okie dokie. Have a great weekend, guys. I'm going to be out all next week. I'm not sure if I will be able to come in for any of the live videos. I'm going to be in a very different time zone, and our schedule is very, very book solid. So I'll see what I can do, but I'm not promising anything at this point. I'll catch you guys later. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you later.